Hey, what is up, everybody? Mike from Comic Book Fans here. Thanks for joining me yet again. Just the other day, yesterday, a Vanity Fair article came out revealing these two new exclusive looks at Jared Leto's Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, we knew for like a couple months ago at this point that Jared Leto was coming back to film scenes for Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, and there are also rumors coming out that his Joker would the scenes that his Joker would be in would take place during like a nightmare flashback, and by that I mean like nightmares and the kind of nightmare we saw in Batman v Superman, which turned out to be some sort of vision glimpse into the future that Bruce was given when Flash came back in time to warn him. So it seems like, yeah, this is the version of Joker we're getting. So yeah, let's look at these images. Obviously, he doesn't have the tattoos anymore. His hair is longer, and it seems like he's got some sort of messy lipstick going on. He's got some, like, gown going on, like a hospital gown and gloves, and they look pretty bloodstained. Obviously, Zack has made some changes to his Joker in this version, but just fair warning, there are going to be spoilers coming up or at least potential spoilers for the plot of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So if you don't want to know, just, click away. So basically, yeah, I think he looks honestly pretty freaking creepy, which is definitely a take of Joker that I like. There's a lot of different directions you can go with Joker, the super crazy, the crime boss, serial killer, yada yada. And I, for one, always kind of thought Jared Leto's Joker had potential. At least there were scenes in Suicide Squad where I thought, I really like that, and then other scenes that weren't so good. And I was never a huge fan of the crocodile skin jacket, but I did think he had potential, and we definitely did not get to see what the original vision was for this version of Joker. We didn't get to see David Ayer's version, and we did not get to see what Jared Leto wanted to do with the character. So, hashtag release the Ayer cut. But anyway, I think that this could maybe be some, I wouldn't say redemption, but maybe change the minds of some fans, at least as to the potential of this version of Joker. Of course, there's going to be haters that still looks terrible, whatever, You're never going to please everyone. I, for one, am a big fan of this. I know a lot of other people are a big fan of this look. It's definitely not a classic Joker look, but that's not what this is supposed to be. So I'm 100% down with this. It looks creepy as hell, which I always thought Jared Leto's Joker kind of had this sort of creepiness that some other versions didn't, and I think it works really well. And something else we never got to see was, Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker actually interacting, which might have lent some credence to this version. But anyway, they talk about that a little more in the article. So let's just dive into the article here. Now, I'm not going to be reading this whole article. By the way, this is in Vanity Fair. It's written by Anthony Breznican, whatever, however you say his name. Sorry if I butchered your name. But anyway, so I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to skip to the parts where they actually interviewed Zack, and Zack talked about, the scene that Jared Leto's Joker is in. All right, so here's where the article really starts talking about this version of Jared Leto's Joker and, how it's going to fit into the film. So, like I said before, spoiler warning. So, gone are the face tattoos and slicked back emerald undercut style of that movie, referring to Suicide Squad, replaced by a visage that looks like a creature who crawled out of the basement of a long abandoned insane asylum. Maybe he did. Yeah, that's another thing, just kind of looking into his eyes on this. He just looks creepy. It's he looks like somebody who would just kill you in a heartbeat and have no qualms about it. So, Leto was wearing a hospital gown and surgical mask in the photos SNYDER released exclusively to Vanity Fair, which the director says is probably a remnant of his escape into the wild when the world fell. In some of his Justice League scenes, Leto's Joker also sports a bulletproof vest festooned with grimy law enforcement badges. He has tons of badges, SNYDER said. Those were his trophies. So, Joker appears in the film during a sequence set on a ruined Earth after the alien tyrant Darkseid invades and decimates the planet. We already kind of knew this from some of the rumors, and we already knew that Joe Manganiello's the Deathstroke was going to be in this movie and in like a sort of nightmare sequence, as we already saw by this photo of him with a mohawk released, or faux hawk, whatever, released a few months ago. So, continuing, it's a dream sequence, experienced by Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, that reveals what will happen if the superheroes fail to stop the onslaught. Joker is sort of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, supplying motivation through terror. The cool thing about this scene is that it's Joker talking directly to Batman about Batman, Snyder said. It's Joker analyzing Batman about who he is and what he is. That's the thing I felt like fans deserved from the DC universe. That is to say, the Jared Leto Joker and the Ben Affleck Batman, they never really got together. It seemed uncool to me that we would make it all the way through this incarnation of Batman and Joker without seeing them come together, which I really appreciate. Yeah, like I said earlier, that's been a major issue with this version of Joker, that Batman and Batman have never met and played off each other. Snyder already had a history devised in his head. The scene explains why Bruce had the Joker card taped to his gun that you see in Batman v Superman, the director says of his 2016 film, which also hinted that Joker murdered the Caped Crusader's sidekick by showing the absent Robin's armor, spray-painted with, "Ha-ha, joke's on you, Batman." I'd always wanted to explore the death of Robin, Snyder said, like death in the family. And if there was going to be a next movie, which of course there probably won't be, hint hint, Warner Brothers. I wanted to do things where in flashbacks we learn how Robin died, how Joker killed him, and burned down Wayne Manor. That whole thing that happened between he and Bruce. The director's plan was to show how they became like this, how he hurt him in a way that no one has really. Other than losing his parents, it was probably the most significant personal injury to his life. Yeah, I think that'd be very cool to see, hopefully in some future project, who knows if it'll ever happen or not, but to see how Joker actually killed Robin and burned down Wayne Manor, and how it sort of transformed, or at least helped make Batman the way he was in Batman v Superman. I think one of the main critiques is people didn't like the kind of darker take of Batman that was willing to kill. And I think if we actually got to see what happened and see the emotion behind it, I think that would kind of put to bed some of these critiques as to that version of Batman. They were pretty straightforward in Batman v Superman, as that, like, this is why Batman's like this, but I think just to be able to see it would not only be cool for fans, but kind of cement, the character development of Batman to, doubters. But those seeking continuity may have questions. What happened since we last saw this Joker in Ayer's films? Is there tattoo removal in the apocalypse? Maybe. And since Snyder replied, I would say that there's been some water under the bridge. Who knows what's happened? I don't know if he's wearing makeup. I don't know what's happening. It's hard to say exactly. You can interpret that to mean Snyder just liked it better this way. Fair enough. His version of Justice League will exist on its own, making use of some material from other DC movies, but standing alone as a kind of Elseworlds tale. As Joker might advise, just roll with the chaos. So yeah, I did find that comment kind of fun at the end. Like, I don't know, I just kind of liked it better, which, fair enough. I appreciate the honesty, like he could probably come up with a story behind it if he wanted to, but I'm sure it's not going to be the main point of the scene. I'm sure people aren't going to be like sitting watching the scene and be like, where are his tattoos? Why, I'm sure that's not the point of what's going on in the scene. I'm sure once we see the film, we're just going to roll with, Joker's there, yada yada. This is the scene. He doesn't pretend like he came up with some, long, big history behind it. I think a lot of directors do that. A lot of directors act like they had a plan for every little thing, which Snyder does sometimes. I think he usually does have a plan, but he's honest when he didn't really have one. And it's kind of pretentious sometimes when a director always, has, like this ridiculously detailed thing for every little tiny little plot point and thing. It's like, sometimes it's just a directorial choice, which he said, there might be, some sort of way to frame a story around this, but it's just the decision he made. So anyway, I am definitely looking forward to this version of Joker. I hope that it's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, I'm not looking for, like a perfect adaptation of, Joker from the animated series or something. Obviously, this is a standalone sort of Elseworlds, apocalyptic future Joker. So, I have no problem with this, and I think Leto can pull it off easily. I think there were definitely weird stuff in Suicide Squad, but there was plenty of cool things he did with the character, and hopefully they stick to the cool things and expand that. And after seeing the movie The Little Things with Denzel Washington and Rami Malek, Jared Leto was in that, and he played a weird, like, sort of serial killer type, and seeing that, while it wasn't exactly like a personification of Joker, seeing him play that character just kind of cemented in my mind, like, yeah, he could play Joker if he were giving the right setting and the right script and whatever. So hopefully this scene will be very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the nightmare sequence and seeing how it kind of fits into the wider narrative. That was a really, like, a major plot point that was just thrown to the side with the theatrical version of Justice League. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what becomes of that whole apocalyptic future storyline. So, yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Be sure to check out our Instagram. That's where most of our content goes. We have some laugh challenges up on our Patreon. That's kind of what we're doing with our Patreon right now, and please join if you want, whatever. And be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and drop a like for this video and comment, whatever. And yeah, be sure to check out our other content. We post new videos several times a week, so check those out, and I will see you all later.